Narito ang programang totoong-totoo, Tambayan sa DWIZ. Programang magliliwanag ng ilang mahahalagang mga issue. Tambayan sa DWIZ. At ngayon, narito na sila upang maghatid ng saya sa bawat Pilipino. Sa programang Tambayan sa DWIZ.
Magandang tanghali. Welcome to Tambayan. Kasama ko sa himpilan na Atty. Osam Ahmed Paglinawan.
Hello po.
Ako po si Trixie Cruz Angeles. Mainit po ang usapang red tagging pa rin.
Yan na naman.
Oo, yun pa rin eh. Ayaw nilang tantanan. And as a matter of fact, but before that, may 3 celebrities na nagtungo sa COMELEC para maghatid ng isang sulat.
Sulat para
ang mga,
sa...
mga celebrities na ito, si Agot Isidro, Isa Calzado, and Enchong D.
Para ano yung sulat nila?
Para kumbinsihin daw nila. Para to urge the COMELEC na, ano ba yun? Pa-dismiss na daw yung kaso sa PET, sa Presidential Electoral Tribunal.
Ay, tanga.
Oh, yun na nga eh.
Nasa
diba?
PET yan
Tanga spotted. Ano na?
Nasa PET yan
Correct.
Oh, bakit sa COMELEC sila nagpapadismiss?
Nasa party siguro. Kasi party ang COMELEC. Pinagkukomento sila ngayon, di ba? Tungkol dito sa third cause of action ni BBM.
Oh, tas itong tatlong to, they think that by moving to dismiss, the COMELEC will...
By the way, they're not even moving kasi hindi sila pwede mag-file ng motion dahil di naman sila partido sa kaso na to.
The COMELEC, by urging the COMELEC to file a motion to dismiss in an order to comment is a proper procedure. Idiot itong tatlong to. Enchong D.
Enchong D.
Agot Isidro is already an idiot ever since.
Isa Calzado.
Isa Calzado, di ko kilala yan.
Yung mga nagpapa-relevant dyan, ng mga so-called celebrities, aral-aral din kapag may
magbasa
oras.
Kayo, magbasa.
Magbasa kayo. Kapag ang isang electoral contest.
Di ba syota ni yan? Hilba yan si Agot Isidro?
Correct. So guess
ano
nyo,
Hilbay?
Sino possibly ang
Ikaw ba nagturo niyan?
Nag-abiso dito? Ano Hilbay? Tago-tago ka na ngayon para hindi mahalata yung katangahan dito sa issue na ito, ha?
Idiot.
Una-una, an electoral contest is to determine the sovereign will of the people. Ano ba talaga? Sino ba talaga inaboto dito? Ngayon, there was sufficient evidence to be able to bring it. Kaya nga, tagal na natin naglilitis, 4 na taon nang naglilitis doon sa Korte Suprema, sitting as the Presidential Electoral Tribunal.
Tapos papadismiss sila sa
magaling. At alam niyo kung bakit.
Gusto mo pag-usapan. Gusto lang malagay sa media
itong
reports.
Mga lokong to. Parang ang feeling nila, it steps up the pressure na
Gusto nyo sumikat, magsapakan na lang tayo. Ikaw, Enchong D, sapakan tayo.
Ay, hindi.
Para sumikat ka.
Ay, hindi. Kami na lang
yung dalawa kasi babae naman so wala rin.
Hindi, kami na lang
hindi pwede.
Medyo mas fair yung laban na yan.
Pero kung gusto nyo maging laman ng balita, magsapakan tayo. Ganyan na lang. Huwag kayong gumawa ng kung ano-ano ng katarantaduhan.
Di ko rin maintindihan magpapa-relevant na rin lang kayo in an issue, in a manner that's just really utterly stupid. What does this do for you? Kalokohan. But in the meantime, there's lots of reason to be happy dun sa mga legal proceedings ongoing. So dun sa BID, 44 ang sinuspinde. Preventive suspension ng ating ombudsman. And this was more, more than the people na finafailan ng kaso ng NBI. 19 lang yun Although naghahanap ngayon ng NBI ng additional, si Ombudsman, 44 kagad ang nakita for preventive suspension. Ibig sabihin, habang iniimbestigahan po yung kaso, hindi sila maaaring pumasok, hindi sila tatanggap ng sweldo, at hindi nila pwedeng kausapin yung mga mga kasamahan nila dyan sa opisina.
Higit sa lahat, hindi sila pwedeng pumunta sa opisina at magtrabaho doon kasi nandoon ang ebidensya. At kung pinayagan sila na pumasok doon ay maaring mawalan na bigla yung mga ebidensya doon at maabsuelto na sila. Yun yung purpose ng preventive suspension. Hindi yan penalty. Hindi yan siya punishment doon sa kanilang alleged violation. Yan ay preventive para lang mapanatili ang due process.
Ngayon, maraming as a result of our posting that, maraming nagtatanong. So bakit hindi tanggal, bakit hindi criminal case? Wait muna. Ibig sabihin ng preventive suspension nga, iniimbestigahan po yung kaso and we want them out of the way para they can't tamper with evidence.
Yan,
diba? Hindi nila pwedeng sunugin yung ebidensya.
Lagyan ng mga tubig,
o kaya gumawa ng subsequent resolution na absuelto sila, things like that.
Ganyan. Basta ilayo lang sila doon sa scene of the crime.
Correct. And consequently, hindi rin sila tatanggap ng sweldo. So that also hampers their ability to
run away
and to run away. So magandang move yan. In addition to that, pati sa PhilHealth, 8 ang sinuspindi.
Saka decisive yan, and swift.
Correct.
Dapat kasi yung preventive suspension should be fast. Dapat may impose agad yan near the beginning of the investigation. Kasi kung matagal yan i-impose, mawawala na ng saysay yan. Kasi nawala na yung ebidensya, nakipagsabuatan na yung mga suspected na mga violators doon sa kanila mga kasamahan na hindi na magsasalita, hindi na magtestigo. O di kaya yung iba ay sumibat na kagaya ng ating COMELEC chairman na si Andy Bautista.
So in the meantime, nag-order din ang Pangulo na mag-create ng isang mega task force para dito sa para tugisin ang corruption dito sa
patay yan sina Morente niyan.
Hindi pa nga nasama ang BID doon ang top of the list, PhilHealth.
At saka yung PhilHealth.
Customs. Nasama dito LRA. Ayan,
sana naman na tingnan din na Mr. President yung NFA. Yung NFA,
halos wala ng NFA dahil dun sa rice tarification.
Pati yung batas na yan in relation to that because it made the corruption in the NFA legal and institutional. Yan yung nag-institutionalize ng corruption dyan.
Ngayon, ito yung isa pang issue dyan is that nabanggit yung Department of Agriculture para hindi siya nandun sa top 5 ngayon ni Secretary Guevara. Although I understand na pinapaimbestigahan din yung Department of Agriculture in relation dito sa rice importation et al. Ibig sabihin pati may investigasyon na rin dito sa importation ng pork, ng manok, kasi nagsasuffer po yung mga local producers. Yung importation ng pork, kung ating matatandaan, yan po ang nag-lead to ASF dito sa Pilipinas. Hindi kasi endemic dito sa Pilipinas yung ASF. In 2018, we raised the alarm about the African swine fever na hindi naman siya fatal sa tao kaya hindi siya masyadong nabantayan. Pero 100% fatal to other to
animals.
Pigs, to the swine.
Which humans can pass on to them.
Yes.
From
It doesn't affect us. Pwede nating kainin yung baboy na namatay sa ASF.
Carrier lang tayo na non-symptomatic.
Pero we can pass it on to swine either through our waste or even just to being exposed to swine. So maipapasa natin yan. It is very very contagious. Ngayon, itong pagpasok ng ASF ay kumalat na rin. Initially, nasa Luzon lang yan. Ngayon, marami na rin pong cases na nireport sa Mindanao. Ang tanong, ano bang ginagawa ng Department of Agriculture?
Wala, no? Talagang
nag-i-import lalo.
Lalong inaapi lang natin yung mga magsasaka at saka yung hog raisers.
Lalong-lalo na yung mga maliliit na swine raisers. Kasi yung mga backyard production, isang kahig, isang tuka yung mga yan they're not the huge
malalim mga
raisers. So, hindi naman nila kakayanin yan. And the loss of 1 or 2 of their pigs, it can also cause devastation to the family. Ang tanong nga dito sa DA, tinutulungan ba natin yan? Kasi tinututukan halimbawa ng DOLE ang micro, small, and medium scale enterprises. At binigyan ng ayuda yung iba, binibigyan ng loans sila ngayon. What is the Department of Agriculture doing for our backyard swine raisers?
Oppressing them?
Yan, that's precisely what. And very, very well done, by the way, dito sa mga operasyon ng ating mga magsasaka. At saka, agricultural workers in general and business owners. Of course, idagdag na rin natin, syempre, yung paghihirap ng ating mga rice farmers. Ngayon, marami rin nagtatanong tungkol dito sa SSS. Apparently, ang SSS, hindi sila nagbigay ng pensyon for the month of September. Hindi pa po namin na-research kasi walang lumilitaw po na news reports pa on this one. So, we will get back to you on that one. Promise po, aaralin namin po yung this one. So, nakikita nyo, there's so much problems going on. Tapos, yung ating mga celebrities ay ang tinututukan ang vice presidential electoral contest. Yes, Ma'am Agot, napaka-relevant ninyo. Mamatay yung mga farmers, hirap yung mga tao, may problema sa pagkain.
Ginagawa.
Ano
Basta pa may gumawa ng katangahan, these are the usual suspects, these people.
Na nga, nakakainis eh. Isama na rin natin yung... Ewan ko. Baka naman kasi, pwede niyang i-blame yung mabagal na internet dyan eh. Bagal din utak eh.
Bakit kasi kanino bang kakampi yung mga nagpabagal ng kaso niya na yan sa PET?
Ayan.
Di kausapin nyo ngayon yung sino ba yung una dyan dati? Sino ba yung head ng PET dati, yung Justice?
Kagiwa.
Ayun ang kausapin nyo. Para yun pa may magagawa yun, hindi yung Comelec. Comelec, pinagko-comment nga pagka hindi nag-comment yan, kabit yan sa Supreme Court. Saka sa PET.
Ay, nako. Okay. So, sino pa ba yung well, of course, may ibang mga artista din na trying to be relevant, humihirit ng no to red tagging.
Red tagging pa rin?
Yeah!
Nagkahulihan na nga, di ba? May bago na namang nahuli na miyembro daw umano ng Gabriela.
Oo.
Naaawa rin ako sa Gabriela. May mga miyembro ng Gabriela na hindi naman sumasali dyan sa NPA, CPP, NPA. Nadadamay.
Correct. Not all members of Gabriela, of course, are involved in
or are
the insurgency.
Still involved.
Or are still
people
involved.
have stopped, because they got tired of this idiocy of Joe Masison. Gago tong leader natin. Mag-quit na tayo dyan. At muntik pa nga yung mamatay ang mga yan because sinahabol yan sila ng CPP-NPA. The CPP-NPA is an organization which kills their own members if they don't want to continue their membership with this organization. What kind of organization is that? Isn't that a terroristic organization?
Yeah.
To kill your own members?
Oo. Diba?
So ano pa ngayon ang gusto nilang gawin dyan?
Nakailang kampanyang ahos ba? 3?
3. Almost. 4. Pero napansin na ng mga tao. Yung mga dating mga kakampi nila nagrarally na rin to be safe from their stupidity and their murderous ways.
Yun. Yun na nga. So, itong mga artista na to humihirit ng no to red tagging pero hindi natin alam kung naiintindihan nila kung ano yung red tagging. Now, to be informed, what is red tagging? Ayun na nga, hango ito din sa McCarthyist era of the witch hunts, communist witch hunts.
Cold War.
Dati kasi, maging komunista ka, criminal ka na kagad. Kasi bawal yon dito din sa Pilipinas, bawal under the Anti-Subversion Act which was repealed under the presidency of FDR. Okay.
FBR na yan.
FBR na siya. Although, inumpisahan yung repeal niyan panahon pa ni Cory. Maraming naumpisahan panahon ni Cory that natapos or na-fulfill ng kumpleto under the presidency of FBR. One of them is yung pag-privatize ng tubig.
Corazon Aquino did not repeal that law because it helped her.
Yeah.
While she became the president through the revolution and everyone close to her were pardoned by herself, yung mga kalaban pa rin na nasa bundok, para sa kanya, kalaban pa rin yan.
Yun. So,
tuloy pa rin ang anti-subversion law under Cory Aquino. Kaya hindi niya pina-repeal yan.
So, well, it worked for her. Yun na nga. Hindi, remember how this worked? Nagkaroon ng tactical alliance ang mga pula at saka yung mga dilaw. What we refer to as the
With the EDSA revolution.
The EDSA revolution was actually, kumbaga, it was an aggregation. It wasn't a very tight group. Tight yung grupo ng mga kaibigan ni na Cory, mga kumare, kumadre.
Kasi komunista rin ang asawa ni Cory. Yun yung nagtayo ng CPP-NPA.
So they went into an alliance with the underground movement as well as those who, they're so-called legitimate fronts. Hindi yan nag-umpisa after the Cory presidency. They had already started nung panahon na yan. So, but they were legitimized under the Cory presidency so that they could participate yun in Congress.
Mga NGO yan sila noon.
Ano yung constitution natin? Nakalagay dyan, NGOs, di ba? And NGOs are virtually handed over some of the government
big funds and projects.
Responsibilities din. Halimbawa, ang DSWD, nagpapakain yan, di ba? Yung mga tawid-gutom programs are supposed to be under the DSWD. Anong ginawa ni Cory? Sabi walang pera ang gobyerno. Kaya magre-rely tayo on NGOs. Kanina nagre-rely ang mga NGOs. Dito po nag-umpisa yung mga beginnings ng PDAF at saka DAP ay nangyari dito in the Cory presidency. Kasi ang ginagawa nila, dahil hindi daw kaya ng gobyerno gawin, yung mga kailangan gawin, ay tina-turn over itong mga to sa NGOs on a project basis.
Ang mga NGO kasi, sila yung gumagawa ng mga project proposal na ipinapadala naman sa mga international aid giving organizations like the UN, the UNDP, the USAID, yung aid from Canada and Australia and all these things. Kaya ang nangyayari niyan, nakakakuha sila ng funding from other funding agencies abroad. Okay? At kalahati niyan, hatian, may conduit funding from the government, which usually comes from Congress. Kasi binabatas yan para makapag-release ng pera. So, hati-hati. Okay, but sino ang mga nag-i-implement dyan? Itong mga NGO na to. Maraming mga NGO na neutral o di kaya merong rightist na orientation. Pero karamihan dyan ay yung mga dating rebelde na umalis dahil sa ahos ni Joe Masison sa pagkaway-away nilang dalawa ni Apopoy Lagman. At nagpunta na dyan sa mga NGO, and many of these NGOs are still actually actively in operation under the tutelage of the Communist Party of the Philippines and the NPA.
So, ano pa? Yung ganito, of course, the party list system was instituted under the 1987 Constitution.
Para kay Joe Masison din yan.
Yes, pero
kaya nagkaroon ng mga partido ng bayan and all this Makabayan Bloc and all that.
It was initially suggested para magkaroon ng representation yung mga sectors. Dahil sa ating saligang batas, nakalagay doon yung mga parang specially protected sectors or classes. Women, children, indigenous peoples, the handicapped, etc. So, maganda yung pakay ng party list system. Kasi hindi lahat ng mga elected by districts ay maaaring makatutok dun sa mga concerns ng mga minorities. Hindi naman majority ang handicap, di ba? Hindi naman majority ang youth yet.
Well, not only that, ang party list were given, was giving a chance to specialized sectors na kailangan on their own are given attention. Halimbawa, labor.
Yan.
Hindi naman sila minority, pero in fact, ang dami nila at kailangan nilang tutukan na specially tutukan kasi sa sobrang dami nilang interest nila ay malaki sa mata ng gobyerno at saka ng society ng ating pamayanan. Kaya binigyan niya ng boses sa Kongreso para may magawa ding batas na ukol din sa kanila. Okay? Pero pagka sa simulang-simula pa lang kasi ang pagpapa-implement ng ating party list system ay mga gago na yung mga nagpasimula niyan. So, kaya ay ginawa yung batas na yan na tailor-fit na kaagad dito sa mga interes ng mga walang hiyang tao. Kaya nagkakaroon ng mga kung ano-anong hindi makatakbo ang kapatid ng isang mayor at kasi yung nanay at saka tatay niya ay governor at saka mayor na, vice mayor, di yung mga iba pang mga kapatid ng pamilya ay ilalagay sa party list. So it is also a form of nepotism or dynasty. Okay, parang political dynasty ang nangyayari diyan. So makikita na sa simula pa lang itong party list system kahit na magandang hangarin ay in-implement ng mga gago. Kaya ganyan ang nangyayari sa atin.
So, most of the implementation, ang problema dito ay dun sa interpretations na ginagawa ng COMELEC. Doon sa batas dito. Halimbawa, ilan ang minimum votes. Yung operationalization nito came largely from the COMELEC. Saka, who, for instance, is qualified to be accredited as a party list system. Normally yan, kapag meron kayong labag sa batas o meron kayong criminal activity or known criminal activity, maaaring hindi na kayo bigyan ng certification ng COMELEC para makatakbo kayo. Ganito po nangyari nung unang nag-apply ang Magdalo Party. Tinanggihan sila. Kasi ang sabi ng COMELEC, nagkudeta kayo. Ano bang ginagawa ninyo dito? Ngayon gusto ninyong tumakbo. However, inapila nila ng Magdalo and eventually they were granted their certification.
So yun lang yun. Baka yan yung naiisip ni Enchong at saka itong ni Agot Isidro at saka itong si...
Na mapapersuade nila yung COMELEC for
Kalsado. Sino ba yung babaeng yan? Parang Bold Star ba yan?
Hindi. Artista naman talaga.
Hindi ko siya kilala. Bahala siya sa buhay niya.
So, yun na. But it is possible. At sinabi nga ni Commissioner Wang Guanzon na meron ngang isang case na nakafile sa kanila for the revocation of the certification of Gabriela.
Gabriela, hindi naman sila din kasi nananalo. Pero...
hindi, it's not for that. It's really for this, parang disqualification case.
It's just one organization.
Panalo sila, meron silang representante.
Gabriela,
meron ngayon sa current Congress. So, ganito kasi yan. Kung ang party list, 2 beses matalo sa magkasunod na eleksyon, mawawalan ka na ng certification, you have to reapply.
Ang problema po dyan, ang pag-iisip natin ay lahat ng mga congressman, pagka naiboto sila, pinili sila ng taong bayan. Okay? At pinili sila lang kanilang distrito. Pero itong mga party list system ay hindi ho ganyan. So yung mga umupo sa pangalan ng isang party list ay hindi po yan inelect ng mga tao. Inassign lang po yan sila dyan sa pagkakapanalo ng upuan. Upuan po ang naipanalo ng party list, hindi ng taong yon. Kaya itong si Sara Ilago, hindi ho siya ang ibinoto ng taong bayan.
Kaya nga natatawa ko, sabi niya duly elected official daw siya.
Sampalin ko siya dyan sa mga pinagsasabi niya. Mag-aaral ka naman kung ganyan. Huwag kang kung ano-anong sinasabi.
So, yun yung idea doon. Mga nagtatanong na kung pwede ba i-abolish ang party list, not without changing the Constitution.
You cannot abolish that.
Yung paulit-ulit tanggalin na yung party list na yan, huwag niyo sabihin yan. Kung gusto ninyo, pagawin ninyo yung saligang batas.
It is not a solution to just abolish anything because you don't like it.
Just because you don't like it.
Party list system has an objective, and it's a good objective. Pero kung ang mga tao na nag-implement yan, kagaya ninyo, na gusto nyo lang din na pagka hindi gumagana sa pabor ninyo, gusto nyo tanggalin na lang din, you will set us back about 50 years from in history.
Remember, the party list system gave us Jonathan De La Cruz of Abacada Party List, Mike Defensor
maraming
of Anak Kalusugan, Congressman Rodante Marcoleta, nakalimutan ko party list niya, pero party list representative din siya. Ngayon, tuwan-tuwa kayo dun sa dalawa during the ABS-CBN trials, tapos gusto niyong patanggal yung very reason why they're in Congress in the first place.
Babalik ka ng 50 years in the past. Kasi nawawalan ka ng boses na naman sa Kongreso.
Ang tendency kasi natin is to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Ayaw mo yung itong mga makabayan block, puro sila party list, tanggalin yung party list system. Hindi naman po pwedeng ganun.
Hindi naman kasi pagka if you are commenting on the political situation of this country, hindi pwedeng black or white ang expectations mo. Na pagka hindi ito magagawa na mabuti, wag na lang. Hindi ganyan ang buhay sa mundo at lalong hindi ganyan ang turo ng mga simbahan ng mga ito. Kasi ang mga tao sa mundo ay hindi naman perpekto. Okay? Gusto kong iparamdam sa kanila na you have to be patient about all of these things. If there is corruption, that's because there is a chance for corruption to happen in this country. That is not the problem of the law. The problem there is the people who are watching these officials na hindi sila mangurakot, and we are not doing our job.
Correct.
We are not watching these people. We are not reporting them. We are not suing them in courts and in the ombudsman. Kaya tayo ang may kasalanan kung bakit nagkaletse-letse ang party list na yan.
Speaking of suing, yung isang hinihirit tungkol dito kay Lieutenant General June Parlade is bakit salita daw siya ng salita tungkol sa ilang members ng Gabriela, and ganito nga kay what's her face? This Soberano girl.
Si Soberano, meaningless talaga yung babae niyan eh. She doesn't even carry the ideology of the communists, of the socialists. This woman is just really swamped lang ito dito. Walang kaalam-alam yan. Pag tinanong mo yan ang basics ng prinsipyo, ng ideolohiya, ng komunismo, ay walang masasagot yan. Pero dahil sikat yan, kaya sinakyan din itong mga to. Pero itong sinasabi ni Parlade is well within his job, which is to defeat this insurgency. Ang Constitution at ang international principle on the existence of a state ay mayroong self-defense power ang state to defeat an insurgency that seeks to destroy the state. So yan yung trabaho ni Parlade. And if one of the solutions to that insurgency is through propaganda, then they will do it. And it is well within its power to do. Kaya anong problema nyo kay Parlade? Ang ingay-ingay niya sa propaganda eh. Nangyari lang kasi may mga sumasagot sa inyo na hindi miyembro ng gobyerno. Kami yun. Tanga kayo eh. Kung meron ba kayong matinong sinasabi at hindi namin masagot, hindi mananalo kayo sa propaganda war, but you're idiots. You don't know anything. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Kaya natatalo kayo.
Ito pa. Nung umpisa of the Soberano issue, did anybody notice na this was supposed to be about women's rights, and yet everybody acting to defend her was infantilizing her? Parang suddenly, pinatahimik siya, and everybody else was speaking for her. Gabriela was saying, mansplaining daw si Jun Parlade. Her lawyer was saying na hindi siya member ng Gabriela, ganito. What the hell? Okay, what the hell, guys? If you're saying that she's an advocate for women's rights, then how is she so defenseless and helpless and inarticulate that everybody else has to speak for her? And she shut up pretty hard, ha?
So yan. Tinanggalan nila ng ahensya, ng agency, itong tao na ito.
Irony is that you're talking about women's empowerment and you just completely disempowered the person who was supposed to be speaking for you. It's called hypocrisy.
Hindi, mansplaining ang tawag sa mga lalaki. Bitchplaining, what do you call this?
Yan, pwede rin. But in the end, it's hypocrisy, and underneath all that, abject stupidity.
Exactly. Pinaglalaban nyo, itong isang babae na ito, dahil tanga siya, na ang sinasabi niya naman would render her completely inutile.
Infantilizing.
Wala siyang silbing babae.
Baby, ginagawa niyong helpless. Nagawa niyong incapable of explaining herself or even defending herself, yung mga tipong, I stand with Lisa Soberano. Does she need anybody to stand for her?
Well, as a matter of fact,
especially not a useless scrap of society like you guys?
In fact, it seems that Lisa Soberano's family are with her, and
she's in
her
the States,
and her family is happy about Parlade's statements.
Exactly.
So,
and what did this reveal? It revealed the fact that this was just a girl mouthing off lines.
Exactly.
She's acting.
Because like Kim Chu and like the other idiots like Angel Locsin saying things, they didn't understand, and that's why they became popular for stupidity. What is the problem there? Is that an issue about women and women's rights? Of course not. You made it an issue about women and women's rights because you got an idiot and you made her speak for you.
It's also, she was mouthing off lines. We don't know if she got paid for this, but certainly this was a decision also of her manager. Again, infantilizing Lisa, di ba? Di naman siya yung nag-decide nito. Manager naman niya eh. Who said that? Oh my gosh.
That is why I keep saying that these people are idiots, is because idiocy is a soluble problem. You can solve it. You can just teach these people and they will stop being idiots.
I wouldn't count on that. No, what is the cure for stupidity? Knowledge. Not the right answers.
Yes.
Knowledge.
So teach these people. We accuse these people of idiocy, and that is not red tagging. That is really just stupid tagging or whatever it is. And it's not a bad thing. If you're a moron,
if I call you stupid,
it's a good thing.
Endanger you? Does that put your life in danger? Does that make you now the object of investigation? Could you be wiretapped for stupidity?
And if you're going to be
Unfortunately,
ridiculed for being stupid, well, you deserve it. If you don't do something about it, then you deserve to be ridiculed. But everybody else is striving to know something. And if you keep your stupidity with you for as long as you can, then you should be laughed at.
Diba? Yeah, so, again, what we're seeing here actually is spin. Let's not kid ourselves that there are any real issues being tackled here. But the insurgents are on the run, and they are losing the one front where they are very strong at: publicity and propaganda.
Oh, that's where the CPP-NP is strong at. In military, in combat and logistics and supply, wala naman silang latoy-latoy. That is why they allowed members of the party to go into politics. But there is the problem, because if you do not have a strong adhesion to your ideology, those people who are seated in political systems will be corrupt. And it will corrupt not only the government, but also your organization that wants to overthrow the government. So it is a completely an absolute corrupt person or persons.
It's a criminal act to want to overthrow the duly constituted authorities.
That's one.
Diba? Balikan Tambayan ng oras natin, 12:32 ng tanghali.
Tambayan sa DWIZ. Muli nating balikan, Tambayan sa DWIZ.
Nagbabalik ang Tambayan, kasama pa rin sa impilan, Attorney Awesome Ahmed Paglinawan.
That's true.
Ako po si Trixie Cruz Angeles. I'll just tackle some questions. Sabi ni Manny Magno, bakit hindi daw ma-interviewin natin si
Sino?
si General Palparan tungkol dito sa NBA.
Nakakulong yung mama.
Exactly.
Anong magagawa niya?
So, ulitin po natin nakakulong po si General Palparan. Naming nagsasabi, pakawalan, free General Palparan.
Bakit?
Bakit?
We will just ignore the ruling of the Supreme Court? Why do we propose these stupid things?
Court of Appeals actually.
Nakakulong yung tao. Dumaan yan siya sa korte. Sasabihin mo, papakawalan na lang yung mga yan. Kung sabihin din ng mga komunista yan, napakawalan itong lahat ng kriminal nakakulong, anong mangyayari sa atin?
Okay.
Kung anong mga ganyang hirit, ng tilapia naman,
First of all, yes, we cannot ignore the fact that General Palparan is still in court, ha? Ibig sabihin, hindi pa to tapos. Na-convict po siya ng trial court for murder.
If you do this,
the abduction of
those
yung
students.
Sherilyn at saka si Karen.
So, maghihiling kayo ng ganyan, kung hilingin din niya ng kabila, anong isasagot nyo? Ayaw nyo ng double standard, and yet,
yes, for
yan ang sinasabi ninyo. Di ba? Isipin natin ng konti yung sinasabi natin bago natin i-suggest.
Also from a practical point of view, hindi po siya mapapakawalan kasi in order to do that, kailangan i-pardon siya. Hindi po siya maipapardon kasi under appeal yung kaso niya. So until that appeal is either resolved or withdrawn, then he will not be eligible for a pardon. Right? But we also need to discuss some really tough things that might be difficult for some people to accept. Halimbawa, yung mga ganyan. It's not always good for us to make shortcuts. Halimbawa, yung ginagawa ng isang police officer na halos hindi na niya itago na with impunity na parang execution style yung dealings with the drug lords. I know that many people think that this is a good solution. But what if it happens to you? Diba? Yung absence of due process in things like this, yung due process po, yung sinasabi ninyo nakakabagal ng mga trials and all that, that's what protects us. That's what protects the innocent. Okay?
Sa inyo kaya gawin yan. Ay tinuro kayo ng kapitbahay nyo. At automatic na lang nagaganyanin ka.
Kung malakas yung kapitbahay ninyo sa pulis at sasabihin ng pulis, we have moral certainty na ito yung ginagamit
talaga. Bakit ituro ka lang ng isang asset dyan? Tingnan mo si Red. Ano nangyari kay Red? Ganyan.
Execution.
Tinuro lang yan. Wala nga silang ebidensya na may na-addict yung taong, disposer yung taong yon. Now it is proven that in fact he did not do anything with drugs. But paano namatayan? Tinuro lang ng asset. Tingnan nyo kung mangyayari sa inyo yan. Iniisip nyo ba yan? Iniisip kasi yan Iniisip yan.
So, yun yung mga sinasabi natin. Some of the things that we ask for, sa kagustuhan natin na mapabilis yung sistema o mapabilis yung konsepto natin ng pagbigay ng hustisya, they're not necessarily good things. There's a reason why court hearings take some time. There's a reason kung bakit ang trial, may ginugugulan talaga natin ng oras ito. Kasi magpipresenta ng ebidensya, bibigyan ng pagkakataon magtanggol ng sarili ang akusado. Kailangan magpresenta ng ebidensya ang prosecution. Kailangan mabigyan nga ng pagkakataon na sagutin yung ebidensya na yan. May pagkakataon rin kumprontahin ang mga witness na tumitestigo o sumasaksi laban dito sa akusado. Yan ang tinatawag nating due process at nakalagay po yan sa ating saligang batas. Kapag hindi nag-work po yung sistema in a way that doesn't benefit you or in a way that you disagree with, it doesn't necessarily mean na walang hustisya. Kasi yun nga po.
That's what protects you.
Oo.
That's what protects you from these things if they are going to happen to you. Ngayon, Palparan, let's go back to Palparan. Palparan is already retired. I mean, he is probably going to be dismissed from the nakapag-retire yata siya eh. Legally. Nakapag-retire siya eh.
Hindi, nagtago siya. Hindi tama.
Tumakbo pa siya ng Congress
naging congressman pa siya. So,
nakapag-retire yung mama. Pinalabas mo si Palparan, ignoring all these procedures in court. What can he do? He's no longer in the military. So, anong gagawin niya?
Naabot pa yata siya ng I think the case was filed nung tumakbo siya. So, nag-acquire ng jurisdiction ng military court sa kanya. That's why, yung initial detention niya during the hearings at the RTC, dun siya nakakulong sa Camp Aguinaldo.
So, ibig sabihin, na-dismiss siya. He's not in the military anymore.
Natanggal na rin siya.
So ngayon pinalabas mo yan. Meron bang mabuti na kahihinatnan yan? Dahil pwede naman nating i-ignore yung batas if there is an overwhelming need for it na may mabuti siyang magagawa. O ano mabuti magagawa niya? He is no longer in the military. What?
What do you mean what?
Anong magagawa ni Palparan?
Correct. Hindi siya makakabalik.
Pinawalan lang siya dahil naawa kayo sa kanya.
Pag pinakawalan siya, he will have no personality to handle the cases of
power niya?
To go up against the NPA kasi civilian na po siya.
Di patayin lang din ng NPA yan. Ngayon na accessible na siya sa kanila. Ito yung pumatay ng karamihan ng ating comrades. Patayin natin to. Di namatay lang yung Palparan. Nuloko niyo ako eh.
So, ganito yan. I understand that you guys like the idea of his kind of justice. Yung nagtotorture ng mga aktivista, nagto-torture ng mga suspected NPA.
That's not even proven yet. I mean, that's still pending in court. So, di ba?
Pending appeal. So, pero meron na siya, may presumption na of that guilt because he was already passed judgment on by the RTC. Siya na po ngayon yung naghahabol to reverse that ruling. Ngayon, para sa akin, let's wait to see what the court says on this one. And no matter how much you like the guy, we really have to observe the due process and respect the rule of law.
You can see the parallelism here of those three idiots who went to COMELEC to move for the dismissal of the PET. Ganon din ang ginagawa nyo dito kay Palparan. Kaya kung stupid tagging tayo sa mga yan, damay kayo doon. Ganyan ang sinasabi niyo.
Uy, grabe naman, hindi. But that's why we answer your questions like this. And sometimes, the answers na bibigay namin sa inyo will not be popular. Masakit. But we promise you, it's going to be the truth.
It will help you.
It will help.
It will help you get out of the stupid tagging that we are going to do.
You know why? Part of the dissatisfaction you're feeling is what we call unmet expectations. Gusto ninyo, kunwari, mabilis, mapakulong na natin yung mga putagis na mga NPA na yan. Wait, di ba? Hindi lahat ng NPA makukulong sa totoo lang without the declaration na terorista sila. And wala pa po yung declaration. So for the moment, we go after them for crimes like rebellion, inciting to sedition,
murder,
actual sedition, mga ganyan. O yung mga common crimes, murder, rape,
kidnapping,
robbery, extortion, grave coercion. Yung mga ganyan. We will go after them for these crimes. And in order to go after them for these crimes, ang huhulihin natin, yung taong gumawa. Hindi yung kapitbahay niya. Hindi yung kaibigan niya. hindi pwedeng guilt by association. Hindi pwedeng itong taong to, tumayo lang sa tabi ng poste, guilty na yung poste.
Sa inyo kaya gawin yan?
Diba? What if you have a picture with somebody who later on,
is a drug
bombs, or bombs the LRT or something like that?
Tapos ka.
Gusto ninyo, imbestigahan din kayo. That is guilt by association. Hindi natin ginagawa at lalong hindi ginagawa ng ating AFP. Kaya marangal sila eh. Kaya sinasabi ng kabila na file your case, ganyan. Gusto nila pilitin yung AFP to file cases ora-orada nang hindi kumpleto yung ebidensya. Just by applying pressure in the public forum. Do not fall for that.
No,
propaganda sila, propaganda din tayo. Pwede din magpropaganda tayo at saka yung AFP. But we will not transgress the law and neither will the AFP do that.
Hindi nga nananalo to sa propaganda to mga to. Sumagot kayo sa amin. Sige nga. Pumunta kayo dito sa estasyon.
Kasi may tanong dito. Si Ma'am Yoshida, sabi niya, may helicopters ang NPA. Bakit hindi? Walang helicopters ang NPA. Ang AFP natin meron. Bakit hindi matalo-talo ang NPA? Ganito po kasi, ma'am.
Nakasakay na ba ng helicopter tong babaeng to?
Hindi ko alam. Si Ma'am Yoshida yan.
Nakikita niya ba yung mga tao sa baba? Ano nangyayari?
By the way, helicopters are vulnerable to ground fire.
Lalo na helicopter natin. Panahon pa ng Vietnam.
I know this for a fact kasi tatay ko
helicopter pilot.
Siya yung head ng Sulu Air Task Group noon wala pang formal na airbase sa Sulu. We just had like a slap together airbase. He had 2 helicopters and a C-130 coming in every day. So, yung dalawang choppers na yon, yan ang nag-rescue sa mga Marines pag nag-drop sila yung nag-evacuate ng mga wounded at binabaril din sila. There were times na nandun kami mismo sa Sulu, binabaril sila ng mga Muslim insurgents at the time, MNLF. And pag uwi ni Papa, rat-rat yung helicopter. At milagro na lang nabuhay sila.
Ang Amerika, they are the strongest armed forces in the whole world. Did they stop 9/11?
Were they able to win in Vietnam?
Okay. Simple lang yung tanong dyan. Isipin mo kung paano nangyari yan.
Because warfare isn't just conducted on the battlefield. That's why General Parlade is doing what he is doing. Makikipagbarilan ka, panalo kayo sa bundok. Pero may dadating na mga bagong recruits. How are you going to address that recruitment? Di naman pwedeng iintayin nila yung mga bata na ma-recruit na so that they have no choice but to shoot them. If there is an opportunity to keep them from getting recruited, then they will take that, as should all of us. If we can prevent that recruitment by trash talking these communist front organizations, then we are going to have to do that. It becomes our duty now.
May nabasa akong article ni Bobby Tiglao. Loading Parlade and Badoy as the two most outstanding people in the fight against the insurgency in the propaganda war. I will agree with Bobby Tiglao in relation to Parlade, but as to the second person, that person is useless. Mangaw-ngaw lang yan siya. Wala yang magagawa.
Sabi ni Ma'am Maria, we're not lawyers, that's why we're desperate to get answers from you for clarification. I hope hindi kayo magagalit. Hindi po kami nagagalit. Passionate lang. Kasi sometimes we have to stress the point. Sometimes kasi, ilang beses ko nang sinasagot yung mga yan, that warfare is not just conducted in the battlefield. But sometimes I have to raise my voice for you to hear me. And it's not because of the volume. It's because of sometimes if I answer you objectively, di kayo naniniwala
Masakit talaga pagka nasabihan ka ng katotohanan that is not what you expected. Tanggapin nyo yan because that is really how it goes. Kung hindi kayo nakakaramdam na naitama kayo o nasabihan kayo na hindi nyo inaasahan na salita, hindi pa kayo lumalabas ng bahay nyo at sa mundo. Kasi ang mundo ganyan. The world is unforgiving. If you have not learned your lessons in school, the world will teach you painfully these lessons.
So we're trying to keep you from learning that lesson very painfully. kanina merong news na ang sinasabi ay yung pagbabago daw ng AMLAC might be used as political harassment. Okay. So, ang nagsabi nito si Senator Franklin Drilon, and the reason for this is because na sinertify as urgent ng ating Pangulo itong, ano ba to? Yung revisions in the Anti-Money Laundering Act. Okay, bakit?
Kasi nagiging madali na mag-freeze ng accounts. Actually, madali lang naman mag-freeze ng accounts talaga. Ang mahirap lang, buksan yung account. Tingnan kung anong laman yan.
Because the manager can freeze your account if you haven't explained your red tagged account.
Not only that, kahit na halimbawa, yung asawa mo,
red flagged.
Yung asawa mo namatay, you can ask the bank to freeze it.
So that hindi ma-withdraw ng kung sino-sino.
It was not, the AMLAC was not given any bigger power to do that. Madali lang din siyang gawin. At wala rin namang sinasabi ang batas na magbubukas na lang siya ng accounts. Wala namang ganun.
So, well, yun yung ano. I would just like to point out to Senator Franklin Drilon that even without the changes in the AMLAC, some senator managed to get or gave the impression that he got from the AMLAC the account of then candidate Rodrigo Duterte and claimed that this candidate had 100 million pesos in the bank.
Si Drilon ang nagsabi niyan?
Hindi. I'm trying to remind him na si Trillanes.
Si Trillanes ang gumawa niyan.
Even without changing the AMLAC was already being used for political harassment. But what are we going to let this stop us? Are we going to let this stop us from going after crimes? Kasi yung banking system, yun ang pinakamagaling magtago ng illegal fruits of the crime.
Because that is their job. Well, that's not their job to hide illegal fruits of the crime. But it's their job to safeguard the wealth of their clients.
Correct.
Wala namang problema yan. Kung maraming pera ang isang tao because of his industry, mabuti yan sa kanya and he needs to be protected. Pero, kung ginagamit din yan para palawigid ang katarantaduhan sa buhay ng sa Pilipinas, dapat may power din tayo to counteract that. Isa sa mga resulta ng sinasabi ni Senator Drilon ay tataas nga yung remittances ng ating mga OFW. Tataas ang bayad.
Correct.
For just those remittances. Now, the alternative to that is magre-remit ang mga OFW using cryptocurrency. Kasi yan, wala nang bayad-bayad yan. They can send it simply by making pindot on their cell phones. Ang problema dyan is they don't have the security that the banking system will give them if the payments or the remittances were passed through these things. Kasi tumataas bumababa ang presyo ng cryptocurrency like Bitcoins and Ethereum and all these things. Kaya nga, mapapabigat din ang para sa ating mga OFW. And if you remember, Senator Franklin Drilon is the greatest labor lawyer of this country.
That's true.
During his time,
that's true.
He was the staunchest defender of labor. Napakatino ng taong ito, and he was the Department of Labor Secretary for a long time because he knew what the hell he was talking about. And that is the legend of Franklin Drilon. And this guy is awesome. Pero ito nga, namumulitika na to pag minsan-minsang nagigising siya. Kaya siguro panaginip lang itong ginagawa ni Franklin, sinasabi niya.
Because the biggest and most obvious flaw in his argument is that happens even now. So if we're not going to change the AMLAC because you feel that there's going to be political harassment, then the point would be to remove the Anti-Money Laundering Act altogether. And that will now give major problems to the country because our OFW remittances will now be subject to strict security scrutiny. Dahil
tataas na ang babayaran ng OFW ng mga laborer.
And it will be harder to send money home.
Mga laborer
to transact at all. So, yan yung repercussions po if we don't change the Anti-Money Laundering Act. It's really very badly drafted. And only the big-time criminals get away with it. Remember Janet Napoles, ha? Finailan siya. She was actually already detained Tapos nag-apply ng freeze account doon sa Court of Appeals. By the time the order came out, all of the accounts had been drained. So, that's how efficient and effective the current Anti-Money Laundering Act is. Diba? So
kulang pa pala. Ang sinasabi ni Franklin ay sobra-sobra ng poder.
Yeah.
Ang sinasabi natin is not quite.
No, not quite. Really not at all.
But Franklin knows that this is a non sequitur what he is saying. He's just saying na kailangan magbantay tayo. Ibig sabihin yan, we don't have to do anything about this unlock, more power of unlock. Ang sinasabi lang natin, bantayan natin yung unlock, kaya hindi na mangrakot yung mga yan. At hindi nila i-implement yung batas erroneously.
The directive, the suggestion actually came from the International Money Laundering Council. Which means nga that if we don't change it, then things will get more and more difficult for us with international banking transactions. Ganun lang po yun. We don't want to look like a haven for terrorist activity, which already happens. We don't want to look like our banking system is being used by human traffickers, drug lords, arms dealers all over the world.
Well, I don't think...
Which is possible if your money laundering act is not
weak.
strict.
I don't think that Frank Drilon wants our AMLAC law to be weak. Ang sinasabi niya lang, because there is no sufficient proof here for us to say that he is just really counteracting anything that this government is doing. In this case, he is not. Ang sinasabi niya lang, this can happen. And this has happened so many times in the past. Like Trillanes had the power to get all of these things which were lies anyway.
And which was actually against even the existing law.
Excel file lang pala din yung pinakita nitong hunghang na si Trillanes. So, that's there. Kakamping ngayon ng side ni Frank yan. You tell that to Trillanes. But I don't think that Frank Drilon is saying that we should stop implementing this law because it has more power. It's just saying na maaaring may ganitong mangyayari because maaabuso yan dahil naabuso nga ni Trillanes siya nung araw. Yun yung sinasabi.
And with that, thank you very much sa pagsubaybay sa amin sa Tambayan ngayong araw na ito. Attorney Ahmed, any parting words?
Farting is such sweet sorrow.
Okay. And with this, ang tabayanan ng susunod na programa. In the Heart of Business ba tayo today?
In the Heart of Business
with Ma'am Marupa Hatisarne and Sir Lito Gagni today. Yeah, good, magandang tanghali. I'm Trixie Cruz Angeles. We'll see you tomorrow on Karambola.
Tambayan sa DWIZ.